All right, guys, welcome to a special On the Wing podcast as we preview the ATP World Tour Finals in London. I'm your host, Noel Alberto, with my co host, Oliver Dixon Jefford. Oliver, how are you?
I'm very good. How are you?
Good. I stayed up for the draw to see I was one person off in each group, and I was mentally scarred for life. No, yeah, I nearly called it. Just Dolphin and Soccer and the other groups. But yes, we preview the World Tour Finals, last big tournament of the year, and we will see who will be lifting up the year-end title. We all already know that Rafael Nadal will be lifting the year-end number one trophy there, and maybe other awards. But yes, we start with the singles draw in Group Pete Sampras, Pete Sampras is a five-time winner of the event. So we obviously have top seed Nadal, Dominic Thiem, Grigor Dimitrov, and David Goffin. And so Oliver, in my preview, I had Nadal and Dimitrov getting out. Do you see any of the other three men challenging Dimitrov for that second spot?
Well, I think the most interesting thing about this group is obviously the doubts about Nadal. Like how fit he'll be. If he's obviously fit, he will win the group. I think. If he's not so fit, it does give him more of an opportunity. I would agree with you. I would say Nadal and Dimitrov because obviously team hasn't played that well on hard courts recently. Has struggled indoors as well. Goffin, I think Goffin probably has more of a shot than team to challenge Nadal or Dimitrov. But I'm if assuming Rafa's fit, you would have to say he is top and Dimitrov second.
Yeah, I agree. I know there's concerns about Nadal's knee, but his doctor came out and said that there's no new problems with it from Shanghai after Paris. He should be fine for London, and he is fine, which is why he's here in the draw. So the first of the group matches in round robin are Nadal, Goffin, and then Team Dimitrov. How do you see the top seed handling his first match since his withdrawal from Paris?
I mean, obviously Goffin hasn't had a fairly good year. Obviously, unfortunately, injured at French Open, injured and therefore injured at Wimbledon. He has played well this year. I can't particularly see him challenging Nadal. I think obviously the fact it's on hard court and not clay does help him slightly, but I think Nadal should get through. Maybe not really easily, but with some ease.
Yeah, I think he should get through fine. I think it should be straight sets, maybe challenged in one of the sets, but then if Goffin puts all his effort in that one set, could tank could be empty by the time the second set rolls around. So I think it should be fine for Nadal. And then Team and Dimitrov. So you did say Team has struggled, but even though he played here last year, he did get a win, albeit against Monfils, who ended up pulling out and allowing one of the alternates to play. But he did get a win, and then he did take a set off Novak. So what are your thoughts on Team Dimitrov?
I think this is a very obviously every match is crucial, but I think this is a particularly crucial one because obviously on paper they're the two that should be rivaling Nadal to get out of the group. So I am thinking Dimitrov probably going to take it. Obviously, won an indoor title in Sofia early this year. Won reached the final in Stockholm, so has played well indoors. I'm thinking Dimitrov. Thinking maybe 3 sets or two tight sets. So
Yeah, I agree with you there. I think Team is going to be able to find some better tennis than he's been playing lately. I mean, he did struggle heading into the World Tour Finals last year as well, but still picking up 200 an extra 200 points, which was a win, and then playing better. I think he'll be fine. And so we move on to the next matchup would be, I don't know how they would do it, but be say Nadal Team. So we these two have had three classics this year on the clay in Barcelona, Madrid, and Rome. And so I'm sure another it won't be as much as the classic, but it'll be very punishing because these two are going to track down everything.
Well, yeah, it's an interesting match. Obviously, Nadal leads the head-to-head, but I don't think he's ever found it an easy matchup. I think obviously Team has had a couple of wins on clay last year. I think in somewhere like Rio, saved a match point to beat him. Obviously, he beat him in Rome in straight sets early this year. So I don't think necessarily a really favourable matchup for Nadal. Obviously, Nadal should come through, has played more convincingly on hard courts this year. But as from him, if he should be okay against Goffin, I think obviously the Team and Dimitrov matches will be good indicators of how he's going, because he's had some tough matches against him in the past.
Yeah, I agree. And then Dimitrov Goffin, that's an interesting one right there. What are your takes?
I think this is could be another tight one. I think this could be a potentially good match for Goffin. We've seen nearly beat Dimitrov in the Sofia final. It's an interesting style. It should be a lovely match to watch. Both have a great way of playing, but I'm leaning towards Dimitrov again, if I'm going to be honest.
I feel like these courts suit Dimitrov a little more than Goffin and Team in this group.
I think so.
I mean, yeah. Looking at the previous London, the court speed indexes. If that index is that even a word? Anyway, London has slowed down over the years, but now, I mean, it's still quick, but not as quick as it was, and it's not as high bouncing, which is why Nadal tends to not get the results that he likes in London.
Yeah, I mean, I think compared to the other group, I think he'll be happy with the group he's got.
Very much.
Very much so. I think Federer would have also preferred to be in Nadal's group. Federer's got the slightly tougher two. But yeah, I think it could become a problem. Obviously, not really suited towards him in the later stages if he faces Federer. Obviously, he's struggled against Federer this year. But I think in the group, it might not be massively convincing, but I think he should find a way through.
Mm-hmm. And then we move on to the last round robin matches from Group Heat Sampras. Is Nadal, Dimitrov. They've played a number of classics this year. I mean, Beijing a couple of weeks ago. Then obviously start off the year in Australia. And then I think this will be another great one and a real test to see if Nadal's knees are really in shape.
Absolutely. I mean, obviously, I think Nadal does lead the head-to-head 10-1, so it's pretty convincing. But none of the matches have been, or this year anyway, been easy. So I think it's going to be a huge test of his fitness. Obviously, it could also be crucial in terms of group standing. So I think it's a big one. I would think Nadal would win. But this is probably going to be his toughest match in the group.
Most definitely. I definitely see another three deciding set epic between these two. And then now Team and Goffin. So both men kind of bit out of form. More Team out of form than Goffin if we date back to Asia. But I feel like maybe if Goffin or Team are going to get a win, if they're 0-2 headed into this, it will be against each other. Well, obviously they have to win unless they withdraw. But who would you favor to get a win if they're both 0-2 heading into this matchup, if this is the last round robin matchup?
I'd probably say Goffin. I think he's more comfortable to two on hard court. He beat Team at the Australian Open this year, back in the fourth round. So I would edge towards him. But obviously, if Team has actually picked up one win or whatever, he might be more confident. But my instinct says Goffin.
All right. So now that we've gotten through Group Heat Sampras, who are your? I believe you said it earlier, but who are your two picks to get through Group Heat Sampras?
I would say first place Nadal, second place Dimitrov.
First place Nadal, second. That I have the exact same. Now we move on to. Let me just write that down real quick. All right. Now we move on to Group Boris Becker, who was late because of traffic problems for the draw. Construction on the road, not his fault. But yes, Group Boris Becker, 3-time champion. And fittingly, there's a German in his group, Mr. Sasha Zverev, but the headliner himself is Mr. Roger Federer, who kicks off against believe it's Jack Sock, right?
Yeah, that's the first match of the whole tournament.
Yeah. So Sock, who is in the best form of any of these players in London, because I mean he's coming off the best tournament, biggest wins of his life. They vault from 24 to 9, getting the last direct entry into London. But they did Federer and Sock did play. I believe it was it Indian Wells. I believe it was Indian Wells where um, it was Sock made the semifinal and gave Federer a pretty good push, but fell just short. Was it Indian Wells? I think it was.
I can't remember. Yeah, I mean, obviously, I think he would have preferred to start it against one of the other two in terms of Sock. I think, he would have wanted a bit of confidence. Federer's not the type of opponent who'll give you that. But this is a very tough one to call. Obviously, you have to say Federer's probably going to make it through. He's has obviously comfortably in control of the head-to-heads against Cilic, having lost just once in, I think, multiple meetings. Probably should beat Sock. Has lost to Zverev this year and obviously last year once as well, but probably still the favourite for that match. But I think it's probably a little bit tougher to call than the Pete Sampras group.
Yeah, this group is, I think, a lot harder to call. I mean, outside of Federer, if his back is okay, we're assuming it's okay. But outside of Federer, I feel like this is definitely the harder of the two groups to call, especially with most of these three are going to be hard hitting from the baseline. So it'll be which one is going to perform better close in this big of a stage.
Yeah, it's I think obviously Sock comes in with a lot of confidence, having won in Paris. I mean, he could go through. It's obviously possible. I can't see it happening. I do think he has a shot, but I think it will be Zverev or Cilic joining Federer.
Right, so we have that Federer Sock first. I did check; it was Indian Wells. So the second match would be Mr. Sasha Zverev and Marin Cilic. So two guys, bit like average form lately, but these two guys very similar, tall, good serve, weaker on the forehand side, better on the backhand side. Cilic, this is his third appearance, only one win. His first time he was no wins in round robin. Second appearance, he had only one win in the round robin. I believe it was over Nishikori. And then, so how does this one play out?
I think this is going to be one of the tighter matches of the tournament, potentially. Obviously, it's hard to call, but it should be. They both play very big. I say Zverev's probably had the stronger season overall, but I would give the edge to him, but probably in 3 sets, I'd say.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I do have Zverev. I did write a preview for Vavel. I did have Zverev getting out of the group, but I feel like I feel like if he does get out of the group, he has to win this match. If not, it's going to be tough ask. Even though he has beaten Federer this year in a best of 3 format, I feel like Federer without any back issues, Zverev might have a little more difficulty.
Yeah, I think this is a really crucial match for this group. Obviously, like we said, Sock does have a chance, but he's obviously a slight underdog. You obviously can't go against Federer if he's fit based on how well he's played this year. So I think this is a crucial one, assuming that they're both going to potentially beat Sock and lose to Federer. But yeah, I would say Zverev might just edge that matchup.
All right. Next matchup in round robin, we don't know the order because we believe how it usually goes. It's the 1-0s versus the 1-0s and the 0-1s versus the 0-1s. So we're just really winging this, but we'll go Federer Cilic next, then Zverev Sock. So Federer Cilic, you did say Cilic only has one career win over Federer. Don't think he'll pick up a second here?
I mean, obviously, I think it could make it tight, but no, I think Federer should win that match. I think it's probably might prove more difficult than his first match against Sock. But whenever that match takes place between him and Cilic, I think he should still pull through in maybe two tight sets.
Yeah, agree there. And then Zverev Sock, I believe Sock, when I looked at it, Sock, I think he has a winning head-to-head against Zverev, or is that someone else? But yeah, so Zverev Sock, I do fancy Sasha in this one. He's going to really try to force Jack to hit that back. I mean, that's the plan for most of these guys, to force Jack to hit the backhand, but Jack's going to do what he does best, run around it and hit that huge forehand of his.
Yeah, this is probably going to be another tight one, I'd say. I think Zverev should be able to pull through. Obviously, experience of playing going deep in lots of big events this year. Obviously, played a lot of big players. So I would say Zverev as well, yeah.
I mean, even if Sock does go 0-3, nice to see an American and the future of American tennis in good hands. Now let's just win a Grand Slam, boys, and we're set. And then and the last would be Cilic and Sock, and then Federer, Zverev, and obviously Federer, Zverev. They did have a meeting in Montreal. Zverev edged it out, but Federer was hampered. But how does this one turn out? I feel like this is going to be a cracking battle. I feel like this is going 3 sets.
Yeah, I do. I think this is by far the most difficult match for Federer in the group. My instinct says he will win, but obviously Zverev beat him last year on grass, which was the Federer's strongest service probably. Beat him this year in Montreal. Obviously has lost to him quite handily in the Howe final this year. So I think Federer will win to go 3-love in the group, but I think Zverev is going to make him work for it.
And then with Jack, Sock, Marin, Cilic. So this matchup could be a battle of either 1-1s or 0-2s, but I feel like this is Sock's best chance to maybe get a win here in London.
Yeah, I think if Cilic is able to play well, I think he should be able to win, but he's been kind of inconsistent this year, so he had a couple of good results. Obviously, Wimbledon final, title in Istanbul, but I think Sock might be able to take this. I think he's maybe a slightly better move around the court, and if the court's playing more in his style, I think he should be able to take it.
All right. And so now we take your picks. My first place, I have Federer. Second place, I have Sasha.
Yeah, I would say first, I'd say exactly the same as you once again.
All right, so now we get to our semi-final predictions. Now, I'm sure Oliver maybe read my preview, but I'm going to go Federer over Dimitrov, and then I'm going to go with Sasha over Nadal.
Ooh, interesting. I'm going to say Federer over Dimitrov as well, but I'm going to stick with the slightly more standard pick and go for Nadal over Zverev in the semi-final.
And then in the final, I have Federer capturing yet another win over Rafa this year. Would that be, what, 6-0 this year?
Yeah, I think so.
6-0. Well, no, wait, no, that's not me.
Yeah.
Whoops. I have Federer over Zverev this year, but to capture a 7th World Tour Final victory. But a good showing for Sasha and good signs for him heading into 2018 by making a final. And do you have Federer 6-0 or do you have Nadal 1-5?
I have Federer 6-0. It seems to match up fully in his control at the moment. And if they do meet at any stage, or if they can meet in the semi-final, if results go that way. But if they do meet, I think Federer has to be the favourite, and he probably will take it.
Yeah. Amazing what switching to that 97 racket head size has done for Federer. All right. Now we move to the doubles, where we're a bit iffy. Our good old buddy from Valve, Petit Gamano, will give us the preview, but we will preview it anyway. So first group, the Woodbridge-Woodford group, named after the Australian duo, the Woodies, and their very successful partnership. So top seed, Kubat Melo. We got the home favorite, Jamie Murray and Bruno Suarez, the Bryan brothers, and then Dodig Granollers. So we're pretty sure most doubles teams play the same, but so we're not going to go up, down like we did the round robin. But who are you looking at in this group to potentially get out?
And the Woodford one.
Yeah.
I think, well, it's obviously, I think this is the more competitive, if that's the right word, of the two groups. I would be surprised if Kubot and Mello were unable to get out. Obviously, they were Wimbledon champions. I'd be surprised if they didn't take it. So I think they will get out. I think second place is going to be a battle between Murray and Suarez, and then the Bryan brothers. Probably going to edge towards Murray and Suarez. I think home factor for Murray could help. I think the Bryans, I don't think they've won a big event in a couple of years now, which might be a hindering factor. So I'm going to say Kubot and Mello and Murray and Suarez.
In that order?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you there. The Bryans have struggled recently, I believe, to win big titles. I believe, like, in a few even of the smaller events, they were not that early. I believe, like Delray Beach, they were eliminated. I think so. Seems like that aura of them practically being unbeatable to everyone is a bit gone. So I do agree with you in Kubot, Mello, Murray, Suarez. But I feel like you did mention home factor. I'm gonna edge to the Brazilian combo to take first over the Wimbledon champs Kubot and Mello. So then we move to the pronunciations here. The Elting Harwi group, in honor of a very successful Dutch doubles partnership. I feel like you did say, I feel like just like the Woodies group, this is a tough one to call, especially with the top three being very high quality doubles teams. But you do have a Grand Slam French Open champions, Ryan Harrison and Michael Venus, in eighth and in this group.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's good to see they made it. Obviously, having that amazing result at the French Open, obviously backed that up, able to qualify. Is very good. I'm not sure they'll make out the group once, just as in the Woody group. I'm looking at the top two seeds in this one, Continent and Piers, and Roher and Tekau. I'm thinking they're going to get out of the group, but I'm going to say Roher and Tekau in top spot. I mean, Continent and Piers in second.
Interesting that you think we might be overlooking the Herbert Mahou duo?
I mean, I don't think they've had their best season. So, I mean, obviously they've still qualified, but I haven't necessarily noticed them having as many big results this year. I think they've generally struggled a little bit more than usual, so I can't really see them. I mean, I could be wrong, but I think they could come unstuck against at least the two teams seeded higher than them.
Yeah. I mean, I do think unlike singles, doubles is like a bigger of a crapshoot. Literally, anyone out of anyone can make it. Most likely in the singles, it's going to be two or the two top seeds or the third seed. Rarely do you see the bottom seed make it out. And doubles, you can see these bottom seeds make it out. So it's literally open game for anyone, even though we're practically going chalk here. And you said you're going the Roger Tekau group team first?
And Continent and Piers in second place.
Okay. Piers and the other one you had. Kubot, Mello. All right, so just like we did over the singles, we are going to do our predictions. I do have the same two, just in a different order, so I could try and get more points, even though this is the last tournament. So, I mean, we can't make our Fed Cup final picks for this weekend, but I'm going to say I'm going to be hometown boys, say USA, but we could get to that in a little bit, real briefly. So, your semifinal, Kubot Mello versus Continent Piers. Who gets out?
I think if that match would happen, I would say Kubot Mello to win.
And then your second matchup would be Murray Suarez and Roger Tecau. Does Jamie win it to try and give us back-to-back years of a Murray finalist?
Alas, I'm going to go for Roger and Tecau.
Ah, the heartbreak.
Sorry. Oh, while we're here with a big on the line pod, congratulations to Andy and Kim, who welcomed their second child today.
Oh yes, is it boy or girl?
And another girl.
Oh, all right. So that means Andy, you're outnumbered 3-1. What are you doing? It's okay, but yes, very big congratulations to Andy and Kim, and also nice congratulations to Andy for him being back on the court and taking a set off Federer, who was wearing a kilt during their exhibition match. But yeah, nice to see Andy back, and looks like, though it was an exhibition, taking a set off Federer is still a very good achievement for what was it, like what?
Hasn't played since Wimbledon.
Yeah, so like 5 months off.
Something like that. Yeah, he's back in court for Rinker's back practicing as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's encouraging signs. Obviously, I'm not sure what Djokovic is doing. He's been fairly active on social media. So yeah, it's heating up nicely. But yeah, back to the doubles.
Yeah, back to the doubles. All right, so I am gonna go. I'm gonna go Kuba Melo in the Murray Suarez final. So I have a rematch of the group. You have two opposite teams. So who do you have of Kuba Melo, Roger Tecau taking it home?
I'm gonna edge towards Roger and Tecau. I'm not sure why, but I think they're the ones to watch in this tournament. Not particularly, like I said, not particularly sure why, but just have a feeling that we could do well.
I want the double, the 2 years of Murray's. I'm giving it to Murray Suarez. So, I love being a homer, even though I'm not British, but I love being a homer for the people who have a say. So, yes, that is our World Tour Finals preview, but we'll have a quick mention of the Fed Cup final. I believe the teams are out, right?
Yes, they are. So I'm just looking now. Bear with me 1 minute.
I know Coco and Sloan are with Team USA, but I forgot who.
Okay. So, it's not on Wikipedia yet.
See if it's on Twitter.
I've got, USA is Coco Vanderveer, Sloane Stephens, Alison Risk, and Shelby Rogers, I believe.
Okay.
And the Belarusian team, I think, is Alexander Sasnovich, Vera Lapko, Olga Govortseva,
and Arina Sabalenka, she there?
Arina Sabalenka, I think that's it, yeah.
All right, so it is in Minsk. No, Azarenka, obviously custody battle. Very upset that she can't make it, but she'll be cheering them on all day in California. But so it's in Minsk. So Belarus, despite the younger team, the inexperienced team who've never won, have the home court advantage. USA has the stronger team on paper. I know Sloane's been struggling, but Coco had coming off a final in Zhuhai. So who do you think is the team that takes home the Fed Cup final?
I think Belarus do have a decent shout. I would have to say I think America will win. Obviously, Vanderveer's been in very good form. She obviously finished the season top 10. I think you have to back her to win both her matches. Obviously, the other singles matches, whoever they play, whether they Kathy Ronaldo decides to go with Stephens or either Risk or Rogers at another point, it's hard to tell. But even if Belarus do take both them reverse matches, it ends up at 2-2. You have to favour America for the doubles. So I think America will probably take it.
Being the homer that I am, just like I said, USA. But it's been a while since they've won this, so it would be very nice to see that the United States could take home the Fed Cup. So both have USA. And then one last quick mentions before we end our special pod. We're going to mention what's going on in Milan. Actually, first of all, ATP is a bit of a mess. Obviously, the Milan fiasco. And then they tweeted out the wrong days for the order of play for London.
Yeah, it's not been the most successful 2 days for them. Yeah, I mean, I think obviously the treating out the wrong days is just a small mistake. I think a lot can be said about what happened for the Milan draw, and I think a lot has been said and done, thankfully. But yeah, it could have gone better.
Yeah, and then during the ATP said that Federer's group would be playing Monday, and then but Federer also tweeted, "Oh, I'll see you all Sunday." So, and of course Federer's right and the ATP's wrong because that's how just things are going right now. And then obviously a quick mention in Milan with the singles only court. I've been watching parts of it. It's very fascinating that um, all the Hawkeye line calls. They do have an automated system that calls it out and in. That's pretty neat. The shot clock is a bit weird because when I've been watching it, the shot clock isn't moving down from 25, so that's a bit odd. Playing Let's is a bit odd. And obviously Carlos Bernardes actually called out a let-in match, even though he's not supposed to anymore. But yeah, some interesting things. But if there's one thing we did notice, Hyun Chung first through to the semifinals.
Yeah, I'm just looking. Very impressive win over
Yeah,
Rublev today. Just dropped one game over the first two sets. Wow.
yeah, he is hitting very well, and obviously did push Nadal in Paris. So I think this could be a little nice confidence booster for the Korean in heading into 2018 and maybe get some big results to break into that top 40, top 30.
Oh yeah, you'd hope so. I think obviously quite a few have made a bit of an impact now. Obviously Shapovalov obviously beat Nadal in Toronto and Montreal even. Obviously
Rublev,
fourth round at US Open. Rublev obviously
yeah,
winning an ATP title, US Open quarterfinalist. Obviously Zverev obviously decided not to play because he's at the ATP Tour Finals. So we're looking for more of the younger players now to make a significant breakthrough. And
yeah,
hopefully some of the people we see here can do well next year.
yeah. And then even Kinsey went 5 sets with Rublev, so Rublev really being tested this week. And Kinsey obviously mentioned Wimbledon champion back in 2013, so it's been a while since we've seen him have success. But nice to see like him playing well, and maybe he could use this as a nice little turnaround.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we debated the other day. He's probably not the deserving wildcard choice, but obviously big performance against the top seed there. Didn't quite put it off, but it went to a final set tiebreak, which is a bit odd saying a final set tiebreak at 3-3. But yeah. Yeah, so I mean, I'm having a look. He faces Shapovalov this evening. Shapovalov also lost his first match. So that's a big match up for both men. So
Yeah.
it could be interesting.
And then the other group, my pick, Gerald Donaldson, practically out. So there you go, making up ground on me to end the season. Positive starts of 2018 for you, Oliver. But yeah, Donaldson just absolutely dusted by both Chorich and Khachanov. Both straight set losses. Oh, and no sets won. A nice 35% in game percentage, but Chorich, I mean, he's looked good, and we shall see how he plays versus Medvedev, who took it to Khachanov yesterday.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. Obviously, Khachanov lost to Medvedev yesterday. Obviously, beat Donaldson today. So it'd be interesting to see the outcome of this match between Coric and Medvedev. Going to have huge implications. Obviously, one of them is going to be on 6 points. I think it still works for 3 points to win. Is that right?
Is this World Cup? No, I'm kidding. But I think it's just whoever is the round robin win loss. But yeah, if you do it by a point system, they would have 6 points.
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting. I think obviously Donaldson has struggled, but then usually there is someone at these tournaments who does struggle. So he might have just had a long season. He's burnt out a little bit, which wouldn't be surprising.
But yeah, I find this pretty neat. This next the design of the court is what like really like intrigues me because I'm so used to seeing like the doubles alley. It's just the box. It's literally just the box with singles lines. It's amazing.
Yeah, it does look weird. Obviously, we're so used to doubles lines, and obviously that's something that can't be implemented at the bigger tournaments because there's doubles on the court at the same time. But I think some of the things have done. I know Daniel Medvedev said he wasn't a fan of the spectators walking about which I think is fair enough. I don't think that's something that should be introduced.
Yeah.
You see the faff it causes at the US Open all the
Oh
time.
God, don't even get me started on that.
Yeah, so I don't think that's something particularly. I also know a tennis, I can't remember who, but as a tennis journalist saying it was like impeding her view, people getting up whenever. So yeah, I think some of the changes, like obviously if the shot clock was actually working, it could be a good thing. Obviously I think so the Hawkeye thing is debatable. Do we put it's working, but then do we put a lot of people out of employment?
Yeah.
Unplugged
We're gonna miss we're gonna miss Mo Leoni and Bernardes and Fergus Murphy, and then what's the Eva and Jessica? Yeah, we're gonna miss all those people.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. I think we should all be even if we're not massively interested. Like I'm not massively drawn into it, but it should be interesting because it's, even though you don't necessarily like the ideas, it can be worth seeing them to get confirmation whether they're unsuccessful or not. So clearly, having people walk about whenever it is unsuccessful, obviously using just Hawkeye is debatable, but obviously some things
like the shot clock, if it works, I think that'd be a great idea.
Yeah, I think the only slight issue with the shot clock is like if it's been a long point, do they get a bit extra? How many warnings do they get? But I think in concepts it could be a good idea.
Yeah,
so we'll have to see. And we'll have to see how the players respond at the end of the week.
Let's see, what other concept did we say we liked? You did mention, if you take more than probably one medical timeout, you should retire. I do like what they do for on the coaching is that they actually have a headset so they could talk to their coach instead of the coach coming onto the court. What are your quick thoughts about that before we end the pod?
I think if you like, I'm still not unsure if I'm on court coaching, but I think that's certainly better than like the WT have when the coach has to walk onto court. Obviously, with the headsets, I believe there's been privacy, so you can't hear what they're saying.
Yeah.
So I think in terms of that, I think if you're going to do coaching, it should be more of a system of that. I think that's something that has worked this week.
Yeah. So we will come back. We'll be back next week after the World Tour Finals has ended. We'll talk London. We'll talk Milan. We'll talk Fed Cup, and then we'll start with even though we're just a young pod, we'll start with our Grand Slam awards, where we'll look at best Grand Slam match of each tournament, best outfits, all that fun stuff. So I got a lot of digging through the archives we have to do in the next couple of weeks because it'll be 10 days. So it'll be a long time until we pod again. But Oliver, we can find you on social media. And now that you know it, where can we find you?
And you can find me on Twitter at OliverDJ1998.
Yep, you can find me at Not First Noel. You could find both of us writing at Valve USA Tennis. You could find the pod Twitter at On The Line Pod. Everyone can tweet in 280 characters now. Oh boy! But yes, we are the On The Line Podcast. I have Noel. That is Oliver. We will see you all in a couple of weeks as we wind down the tennis clock, and we will hopefully be looking forward to a much, much, very exciting 2018 where everyone will be healthy. Young guns will break through. Big Four will be back. Serena will be back. Oh, it'll be great. But yes, we will see you all in 10 days.